Hello, Chris Parker here, and today we're going to learn all about layers and how to use them in GIMP. In fact, I want you to participate in this GIMP tutorial. It's going to be awesome. So how are you going to participate? Well, you're going to find the file I created just for you in the description below. So go ahead, find that, download it, open it up in GIMP, and we're going to take a look at that file in just a second. And we're going to go through that particular file and learn how to use layers in GIMP. But first, I want to demonstrate in our real world how you can use layers, because yes, you can use layers in the real world as well. And then what you learn here, you can then transfer to your digital world in GIMP and apply that same knowledge. But first, we're going to define what a layer is so we're all on the same page. So let's go ahead and take a look at what a layer actually is. So a layer is a sheet, quantity, or thickness of material, typically one of several covering a surface or body. All right, so that means pretty much anything that we can draw on, paint on, we can use as a layer, or it is a layer. So a photographic piece of paper is a layer. I have a canvas gallery wrap right here of a couple that I shot. So this would be considered a layer. You could draw on a wall and that would be considered a layer. You can draw and paint on wood. So pretty much anything you can think of can be used as a layer. So let's take a look at this canvas gallery wrap, and let's say we take some paint and we cover up this content that is written right here. And then we take whatever we want to use, a pencil, maybe some paint and a paintbrush, and we want to write in our couple's name. So maybe something like Mr. and Mrs. Smith or something else, whatever their name is. So let's say we write all that information on the canvas gallery itself. Then we present it to the client and they're like, that's not our name, or maybe you misspelled it. And you're like, all right, well, now I got to start over because I applied that information directly on the canvas. So that becomes permanent because we don't have an undo button here in the real world like we do in the digital world. So I have to start over. Okay, so that's applying content on a layer incorrectly. What we want to do is we want to use multiple layers to put that content on in case we make a mistake and we need to go back and adjust it or change it or delete it or whatever the case may be for the artwork that we're trying to create. So let me give you another example. Back in the 80s, when I started off as a graphic designer, yes, I am that old, what I would do is I would draw out my design concept on a piece of paper. Then I would present it to the client for their approval or any type of feedback that they may have based on that particular design. And then I would have to redraw it if they changed their mind about something. Maybe they didn't want their product on the right side, maybe they want it on the left, maybe they want the text to be in a different shape or a different location, or in this case, I misspelled the product name. So even before I show the client, I have to fix this and I have to restart from scratch because I applied everything on the initial layer or on one layer. So as I continued making this fundamental mistake over and over again, I finally realized that I should be putting all these different elements on different pieces of paper or different layers. So what I did was I would create my initial design, but I would place things on different layers. So I have my main content here, and then another piece of content over here. And then I have on this particular layer here, shading for that content. And then I would put my titles on a different piece of paper as well. That way, if the client said, I don't like that title anymore, let's change it, it would be easier to just change this layer or this piece of paper versus everything. So that's how I would use or did use layers in the real world. All right, one more quick thing before we dive into GIMP and take a look at how we can use layers in the digital world. And that is, even though I'm showing you a lot of graphic design type of examples, this also applies to anybody that is just doing photo editing. We want to do our editing on separate layers, because if you do a lot of different edits and you apply all that on one layer and then you decide, I don't like how this is turning out, well, you're going to have to start over from scratch. Now, if you save that file with all those edits and you come back tomorrow, next week, next year, and you're like, oh, that edit is horrible. Well, if you didn't save the original, then you ruined it and you can never go back to the original. So we always want to edit our images, and any edits we apply, whether it's adjusting the exposure, adjusting the contrast, or maybe we're just doing a conversion to black and white. We want to make those adjustments on separate layers. That way we have an option to go back to the original as needed. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into GIMP here, and make sure you have that file open. Here it is. It's a landscape, and we have 2 layers. So if we take a look at our layers panel over here, I have a layer 1 and a layer 2. And just real quick, if the interface that I'm showing you right now looks different from yours, that's because I've customized the interface for my own personal preference. If you don't know how to customize your interface and you would like to learn how to customize it, go ahead and take a look in the description below for a GIMP tutorial about how to customize your interface. All right, so let's take a closer look at these layers. So we can see an image here of this landscape. And we can also see there's some information in the layer above, but it's not visible on this document at this time, and that's because I have that layer turned off. And if we take a look to the left of layer 1 here, we have a little icon right here. It kind of looks like an eye. So when you see this particular icon, that lets you know that that particular layer is not hidden, or it's visible. If you click on it, it will turn that layer off. Click in that area again, and it will turn it back on. So let's go ahead and turn on layer 2. Just go ahead and click right here, and now our second layer is visible. Now, just like I had mentioned previously, in the real world, we have a lot of different types of elements or layers that we can use. Canvas, we can even paint on glass, wood, whatever the case may be. The same thing with GIMP. We can use different types of layers to create our creative vision, or whatever it is we're trying to create. So right now, these 2 layers have paint on them, or pixels. So we're painting with pixels, and each layer has pixels on them. Now, if you take a look at layer 2, we have some transparency around it. So that means there's no paint or no pixels on the outer parts of this graphic element right now. So that allows the layer below it to show through. Now, if it was a solid color around the edges, then we wouldn't be able to see the layer below it. So let me show you how that works, because we can actually rearrange our layers based on what we're trying to achieve. And sometimes we're going to want to rearrange the layers according to whatever it is we want to achieve. And we can do that by coming down here and clicking on this icon here to move a layer up, and this one down. We're going to move layer 1 up. So make sure that layer 1 is selected. Just click right next to the name, and it should have a dark color around this area right here, whereas this one does not have that. So it's showing via highlight which one is selected. So if we come down here and click on this arrow, it moves that layer up, and now because layer 1 has paint or pixels covering the entire document, we can't see the layer below it. But just like we can in the real world, we can adjust or customize the layer in a way to manipulate that particular layer so we can see things below it. So what we need to do is we need to change the opacity or the transparency of layer 1. So if we take a look up here, we have a slider. It's called opacity. and we can click and drag to the left and it lowers the opacity or makes it transparent, and then the layers below it become visible. So right now we only have one layer below it, but it becomes visible. Let's go ahead and put this back up to 100. We can also move our layers by dragging the actual layer into the position we want it. So to do that, we're going to click and hold on layer 1 and then drag your mouse down until you see that white line. Once you release, the layers are rearranged. So same thing, if we want to move it up, click and drag up, and you can move it that way as well. The other thing we can do is we can move the contents of a layer within the document itself. So let's go up to layer 2 and click on it to select it. And then we're going to go over to our toolbar and select our move tool, which is right here. And we also want to go to our tool options to make sure we have the proper setting selected called move the active layer. So since we have layer 1 selected, we want to move that one and not the other one. If we have pick a layer or guide selected, then if I click on my image, it will move that layer versus the one selected. So I want you to try that out on your own. For now, we're going to go ahead and select move the active layer. Now, if you're not seeing tool options, you can go up to Windows, Dockable Dialogues, and select tool options from here, and then it will add that tool options panel to your right panels. All right, let's go back to the layers panel. And now we're going to click on the graphic and move it anywhere we want. I'm just going to move it over here to the top right. All right, so that's how you move a specific layer within the overall document. All right, now let's grab our paintbrush, which is located right here on our toolbar. Go ahead and click on that. And let's go ahead and change our color as well by coming down here to the foreground color option and clicking on this box. So I have black and white right now. Yours may be different if you've already been playing around in GIMP. But let's go ahead and click right here to open up our change foreground color. And for this, I'm just going to select a bright red color. Click OK. And now what we want to do is we want to start painting on the landscape. For whatever reason, we're just going to click and begin drawing. The only problem is it's not applying any paint or any pixels to that layer. And it's doing that because, why do you think it's doing that? That's right, because we don't have layer 1 selected. So if you have the wrong layer selected and you're trying to apply something to that layer, then it's not going to work. So let's select layer 1 and then you can come over here and begin painting on it. All right, like I had mentioned previously, we do not want to apply our edits directly on a layer, unless of course that's what we need to do to achieve the look we want. In most cases, we want to apply whatever paint or whatever pixels that we're applying on a separate layer. So let me show you how to create a new layer. So right now, if I save this file, this red squiggly line is going to be on this layer permanently. That's not what I want. I want it on a separate layer so that I can customize that layer later on or remove it if needed. So let's get rid of our squiggly line. Let's go up to Edit and select Undo Paintbrush. Now we're going to come over here to this icon in the bottom of our layers panel and click on it, and that's going to bring up our new layer dialog box, and I'm just going to call this Paint Layer. So you can type in your layer name right here, and then it's going to add it to the layer for that particular new layer. So everything else we're just going to leave at the default. Go ahead and click OK. And now we have our new paint layer above layer 1. Now, here's another quick tip. Let's say you wanted a new layer above layer 2 and not above layer 1. Well, in that case, when we created a new layer, I had layer 1 selected. So what we need to do is we need to make sure we have the layer selected where that new layer should go above. So if I click New now, click OK, we now have a new layer above layer 2. So I want to delete this layer now. So I'm going to come down here and click on my delete this layer icon. All right, let's make sure we have paint layer selected. Make sure you have your paintbrush selected. And this time, go ahead and paint another squiggly line. All right, we're now working what is known as non-destructively. So we're editing our image non-destructively. Before, when we applied it directly to the layer, that's called destructive editing. Now, I'm starting to throw out a lot of digital terms you may or may not be familiar with. And again, if you take a look in the description below, I have a list of digital terms. It's going to take you to my website with, I think there's over 80 or 90 digital terms that you should know as a digital artist. And it's going to help you grow as a digital artist. And it's going to help you with my tutorials as well, because I'm not going to explain those digital terms in detail all the time. So you may want to check that out and bookmark it in case you go to additional tutorials that I cover on my channel here. So now what we want to do is, let's say we made a mistake. We can come down here and delete the layer like I showed you previously, or we can come up here and turn it off, or you can come up here and adjust the opacity of that layer because maybe it was too intense prior. So again, we want to work non-destructively by creating new layers for everything we're doing, whether it's applying paint or pixels, text, editing, whatever the case may be. We want to work on new layers. I keep repeating this, but I see a lot of students making mistakes and they come back and they say, where's my edits? Well, if you flatten the file and you applied everything on that original layer, then you're going to destroy that original file. So we want to get in the habit of using multiple layers to fulfill our creative vision. All right, so I have one more quick tip, and that is, if you take a look up here, we have some lock options. So we can lock a specific layer. Let's grab layer 2 and then click on lock pixels. Now with your paintbrush, try and paint on that layer. We can't, even though layer 2 is selected, we officially lock that layer from being adjusted with additional pixels. So this is something you may want to do in case you accidentally choose the wrong layer. This is going to prevent you from making mistakes on your artwork. We can also lock the position and the size of the layer. So let's go ahead and click on this and then go back to your move tool and then try and move the layer. You can't because you locked that layer in place. Again, that's something that I like to do so that particular layers don't get accidentally moved. And then next to that, we have lock alpha channel. So let's go back to our paint layer. Go ahead and click on lock alpha channel. And this time we're going to go back to our paintbrush again and paint on that layer. So again, we can't paint on this particular layer because the layer overall is transparent. So locking the alpha channel will prevent you from painting anywhere on that layer that has transparency. All right, so that's just some quick basic tips for using layers in GIMP. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. There's a lot more to learn about layers, and we could spend hours and hours on layers alone, but this is enough to get you started with your artwork. What I recommend is checking out my GIMP for Beginners playlist to learn more about layers and how to use them, not only for adding graphic elements, but for properly editing your images. So go ahead and check that out. It's in the description below, as well as right up here. So we have a little icon right up here. Go ahead and click on that, and that will take you directly to the playlist. Now, one last quick thing before you leave. If you can do me a huge favor and like this video, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. That's it for today. Thanks for listening and have an awesome day.